Part 1. The silence between heartbeats in a world full of loud people, fast love, and endless noise. Sophie had always preferred the quiet. She worked in a small bookstore tucked away in a forgotten corner of the city where the dust smelled like stories and the windows held the light just right. Her life was simple, steady, safe, and then came Eli. He wasn't loud. In fact, that was the first thing she noticed about him. He spoke with his eyes, not his mouth. Tall, with tousled hair and a scar just beneath his right eyebrow, he looked like someone who had been through something but never spoke about it. He came in on a rainy afternoon. Didn't say much. Just browsed, bought a poetry book, and nodded politely when she handed him the receipt. But Sophie remembered him, and he came back. Part 2, the way rain brings people together every Thursday, like clockwork. Eli returned. He never flirted, never stayed long. But each visit added something invisible to the space between them, a soft warmth, a silent question. Sometimes he would recommend her a book. Sometimes she'd slip a handwritten note inside the one he bought, quotes, jokes, sometimes just a doodle. They were strangers who knew nothing about each other's past, but everything about each other's presence. Then one Thursday, he didn't come, nor the next. Sophie told herself it was nothing. Life happens. But her hands trembled when she tried to shelve books. She missed him more than she should have. Was it possible to miss someone you never really had? Part 3. His return a month later. He returned thinner, quieter, eyes darker. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I had to go home. My brother passed away." Sophie didn't say, "I'm sorry." She didn't say, "That must be hard." Instead, she said, "Would you like some tea?" He looked at her like she had offered him air when he was drowning. They sat in silence in the back of the bookstore, two chipped mugs between them, rain tapping against the window. And that's when Sophie realized she loved him. Not because he made her laugh. Not because he swept her off her feet. But because he let her be quiet, and she let him break. Part 4. When I say what words can't one day. Eli didn't buy a book. He stood across from her at the counter and said, "I don't want a book today. I just came to see you." Her heart stuttered. She tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. He reached across the counter, gently brushing his fingers against hers. "You make the silence feel safe." That night, they didn't kiss, they didn't confess. They just sat on the old couch in the corner of the store, a blanket over their legs, her head on his shoulder, and a poetry book resting open in his hands. Love didn't shout, it whispered. Because some people don't need loud promises, just quiet presence, and that's where love lives.